Okay, we on? We are on. Hello out there again, YouTube. Welcome back to yet another talking video. And, well, here we are now. It has already been a month since Valentine's Day on February 14th. And it is now March 14th. And, yeah, we've got the longer daylight now. And the weather is gradually getting warmer. And I am very happy about that. And at some point, I will get back outside to film some more videos out there. But I'm going to be in here today and with my notes, and I will try to remember everything that I want to say about this important video because I think about what are the most important subjects for us to think about in our life. Well, one of those subjects would be God and growing in our Christian faith. And also, something else that is very important is who we choose to have as our significant other and getting married at one point. And how do we treat our significant other? This is a video and a subject that I have talked about before a long, long time ago. When I was making the Bobb-z Callahan's Word of Advice videos, I made two series of videos from 2010 to 2014. And I know in both of those series, I'm pretty sure in both of those series, I made a video called Treat Your Significant Other Right. And I want to talk about this again with more years of thoughts that have been collected in my mind. And I would like to pass them on here today. And, well, when we think about a dating relationship and a significant other, yes, a significant other is a very special person. It's a very special relationship. We get all excited and very happy to see them, and it can be very nice to go out on dates, to maybe get a hot dog or an ice cream cone, or go to the movies. It's a very special relationship that can have so many joyful moments in it. And, well, we would hope that for all of these relationships in the world that both people can treat each other right. However, we do live in this kind of world where there are people who do not always treat their significant other right. And, yeah, there are people in the world who grow up maybe with some stressful events that happen in their childhood, and some people may not have been raised in the happiest way. And then you have some people like that who will treat others badly, including their significant other. And, well, when I think about two things that everyone has in common in their journey through life, I can think about how, one, life happens. There can be unexpected emergencies, something really expensive happens, maybe something bad happened at work, maybe you got fired, and, yeah, some people may react in a sad or stressed out way from when life happens. And two, nobody is perfect. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and because of that, we are all capable of making mistakes and bad decisions that could make other people unhappy. And yet, when I think about how nobody's perfect, which would be everyone, well, when I think of everyone, I think about how there are some people who never try to improve themselves. And then you do have some people who do try to improve themselves in the best way possible. And yeah, that they are striving to learn from their mistakes and then be the best person they can be and treat everyone in a good way, including their significant other. And I think that can be reflected in certain relationships. And yeah, it just seems like there are some relationships out there that are healthier than others. When I think of my parents, my parents were married in 1984 and they stayed together all the way until death do us part when my father passed away. And for the first 16 and a half years of my life, I was able to see a lot of healthy interaction between my parents, and I never did see anything like an argument that led to my mom or dad saying, I am so unhappy with you right now that I am going to leave for a night or two and stay at someone else's house because I want to get away from you. I never did see that, and I am glad that I did not grow up with seeing that. And well, I never did see either of my parents, throwing a hit at one another. I never did see that either. But rather, what I did see were so many consistent times where we would go out to dinner, at least a few nights every week, me and my mom and dad, and we would go on cruises together and we would go to Lakeside together. And well, and also some concerts together. And yeah, I was able to see a lot of healthy interaction with my parents and how they treated each other. And I could also say the same thing about my father's cousin, and I call her my quote unquote grandmother because, she is old enough to be my grandmother and she has that grandmother vibe to her. And my quote unquote grandmother, Elsie, well, when she was living in Hawaii for a couple of years in the early 70s, she was introduced to Andy, as we called him, and they got married in 1972, and they stayed together for 37 years until death do us part when Andy passed away in 2009. And well, they lived in North Carolina, and I did not get to see them very often. However, I would see Elsie and Andy about once or twice a year. Sometimes they would join us on the cruises, and sometimes they would drive up to Cincinnati, and I was able to see a lot of healthy interaction between Elsie and Andy as well. And I am so glad that Andy was able to find someone after what happened with his first marriage, where his significant other did not treat him right. You know, the story is that when this family member, Andy, when he was married to his first wife, well, there came a point where they had two sons together, and then Andy was called to, fight for his country and serve in Vietnam. And what happened is that Andy's first wife decided to cheat on him and see a different guy while they were married. And, well, Andy found out about it, and it was just a case where they were not able to work out that problem, and they ended up getting divorced. And yeah, that is a real serious thing where you had two people who were married, and, well, instead of doing the right thing, being loyal to the husband who would hopefully come back alive at one point, well, Andy's wife decided to do something that was not right, and she decided to cheat on him. And, that's just one example of something that was not right, which can end up destroying dating relationships. It can end up destroying marriages. And yeah, I would hope that you can strive to remember to be kind and honest and self-controlled and loyal to a person who treats you right, especially when you are married. And I also hope that we can all refrain from saying mean things to our significant other, which could be called verbal abuse. And one story that really stands out to me, this is something negative, is that, well, when I think back to the first official girlfriend that I ever had, and this was in 2007 for a few months, well, with this girl, I stayed in contact with her because we were in high school and we got to see each other at Tuesday night youth group as well, and a few times after we both graduated. And I learned a few years ago at Kings Island when she told me, you know, it was difficult for me to come back here to Kings Island because when I was engaged to my fiance for a couple of years, well, we came here to Kings Island and he verbally abused me here. Yeah, this girl, when she was engaged to her fiance at one point, her fiance said some really mean things to her while they were at Kings Island. And that just really, really stands out to me because, you know, you're at Kings Island, you're at an amusement park, which is designed to be a really joyful place where you can get away from the stress of life for a day. And it's meant to be a really fun and wonderful day together. And yet, there was a guy who, just was a complete jerk and did not appreciate the girl that he had for a couple of years. And he did not appreciate being at Kings Island, which is a fun place. And he just decided to say some really mean things to this girl when they were there. And yeah, that just stands out to me. And, well, I would hope that everyone out there who sees this video can remember that we do not want to say mean things to people. We don't just want to get careless and say mean things. No. But rather, we want to treat our significant other right. And God wants us to treat our significant other right as well. And, well, when I think back to a couple of stories in my life, and one of them relates to that same girl, yeah, I can at least remember the kind and wonderful time that we had at homecoming, the one homecoming I attended. And we had a couple of dances together and just a nice evening hanging out. And it was just all kind words between us. And, well, the same thing with my junior prom. That same girl was my date. And I think that was really our last ever date of some kind, me and that girl. And, those were nice times together. And I can also think of one other girl that I knew in high school, and her name is Amanda. And I think with Amanda, she grew up with some things that were difficult with her family structure, and we got to see each other frequently because we were in the same high school, and we were also in Tuesday night youth group together. And I just remember one day, in April of 2010, she had asked if I could take her to Zip Dip, a little ice cream stand in Cincinnati. And I just remember a very nice afternoon for about an hour, sitting on the swing at Zip Dip, watching the cars go by. And it was just a nice afternoon together eating ice cream. And I hope that she can at least remember those kind times that we had together. And I know for me, well, not to make myself look like the best thing ever, but I can at least sleep at night in peace, knowing that I have done my best to treat every girl that I've ever liked in a kind way. I've done my best to treat every girl in the right way. And, I've never beaten anyone up, or I've never gotten careless by saying mean things. And, well, honestly, when I think of all of the fights that happen, where people are swinging at each other, and all of the verbal arguments between people, there's been enough of that in the world. There really has been enough of that in the world. And, well, I've been saving this for a while, and I think now would be a good place to say it. When we see the internet posts that say this, and when we hear people say, let's be the change in the world, let's change the world, and let's be the light in the world, well, why don't we actually take that to heart and be that positive change in the world? Let's not just try and say mean things or start arguments just for drama, but with our significant other, let's be loyal and work through problems in a healthy way, and, have the best dating relationships that we can have. I am very glad that I got to see it with my parents and my quote unquote grandmother and her husband. And I would just encourage everyone out there to remember the healthy and kind ways of treating our significant other. And maybe for some people out there, it will take more time to find someone, but I hope that you can find someone and you can treat them right and, you know, honor the boundaries of what is appropriate for a relationship and remember all the good stuff, being loyal and working through problems and disagreements in a healthy way and just showing people who you really are. I know for me that over the last, well, now 16 years since my father passed away, I have gone through a number of rejections and, well, there's also in the last 16 years, there have been a great number of women who have come forward and they have expressed a lot of real stories of men who have not treated them right. And what I would say to any young man out there is probably what my father would say to me now. And what my father would say to me when I'm passing on to you, my father would probably say, son, I know that you've been rejected a lot, but you just keep treating every woman out there with kindness and honesty and self-control in the way that I taught you. You keep treating every woman out there respectfully and treat them right. And that's what I would say to every guy out there as well. We don't need to start dressing a different way or acting a different way just to try to impress a girl. Because really, I think people appreciate it more when we are showing our true selves and our true interests. I think back to the Drake and Josh episode called First Crush, and there is in that episode where at one point Kathy thinks that Josh can play the guitar and he can't play the guitar, and then Drake and Josh try to come up with a fake performance where it looks like Josh was playing the guitar and they get caught. And for a bit, there was a time when Kathy was not happy at all with Josh. But thankfully, they were able to work things out. And, well, Kathy also really liked how Josh had a real and honest talent of being able to paint. And yeah, Josh and Kathy were able to work things out and be one of those happy couples, which is a wonderful thing to see at the end of that episode. And, well, when I think of, just some really happy images of couples from the cartoon world, I think about one picture that you've seen in one of my recent videos, Peanuts, Charlie Brown, I like you and I respect you. There's Linus and Sally, and I just really like this picture where, she is holding a heart in front of him, and it looks to be a Valentine that she is offering to him. And yeah, I really like that picture. I really do. And, well, you may not be familiar with this, but from the Fairly Odd Parents, here's a picture of Timmy, the main character, and Chloe. And I just really like that as well. And You might see this in a future video that I might record in the future, and yeah, you might see that picture again. And well, just with, you know, those couples and other couples like Arnold and Helga, and that video where Arnold gives Helga a flower. I just think about all of that and how there is just a lot of kind and wonderful interaction between two people, and there is a real innocence there. And you have people who really seem to be striving to treat their significant other right. And I hope that at the end of this video and everything that I have said today, that we can strive to learn from our mistakes and improve, and that we can totally refrain from all of the bad stuff that people do, which hurts relationships. And instead, we can focus on the good stuff and healthy stuff, and you can treat your significant other right. It is very, very important, and I hope that all of this can stay with you to grow in your faith with God and remember to treat your significant other right. I hope that all of this has made sense today, and I I wish you all the best with this subject and how things turn out with your life, and that you can choose a healthy relationship. And hey, maybe at one point in the future for me, I will be able to go out and share a hot dog or an ice cream cone again with somebody. And it can be a wonderful, happy time. And well, I hope that you can enjoy that as well with somebody out there. Treat your significant other right. I hope that this has all made sense, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to all of this today and you can remember it. And this video should always be here on my YouTube channel if you ever want to come back and watch it again. So, thank you very much for watching. Remember to treat your significant other right. And I will see you all again for some more videos really soon. Thank you.